Self-analysis is an essential tool for self-discovery, uncovering your strengths and weaknesses and establishing a clear direction for your growth. These questions will help you not only better understand your thoughts and emotions, but also determine ways to improve your quality of life. 1. Do you often complain about feeling unwell? If so, why? 2. Do you find yourself nitpicking others over trivial matters? What exactly triggers you? 3. Do you frequently make mistakes at work? If so, which mistakes tend to repeat the most? 4. Do you use sarcasm or a harsh tone in conversations? What emotions does this evoke in you and your interlocutors? 5. Do you avoid communication with certain people? If so, what drives you to do so? 6. Do you suffer from stomach disorders? What factors contribute to this? 7. Do you feel that life is meaningless and the future hopeless? If so, why? 8. Does your profession bring you joy? If not, what specifically does not meet your expectations? 9. Do you often feel sorry for yourself? What exactly triggers these emotions? 10. Do you envy those who surpass you in something? What lies at the core of this envy? 11th. Do you focus your thoughts more on successes or failures? 12. How does your self-confidence change with age? What influences it? 13. Do you analyze your mistakes to avoid them in the future? 14. Do you allow close people to cause you anxiety? Why does this happen? 15. Do you experience sudden mood swings? What causes them? 16. Who inspires you the most? Why this particular person? 17. Do you tolerate negative influences even when you can avoid them? 18. Do you care about your appearance? If not, why? 19. Do you use work as an escape from problems? 20. How often do other people influence your decisions and actions? Deep questions for reflection. 1. Do you have a clear and specific main goal in life? If so, do you have a plan to achieve it? 2. Do you fear any of the 6 fundamental fears: fear of poverty, criticism, illness, loss of love, old age, or death? How do you combat them? 3. Do you use autosuggestion to develop a positive mindset? 4. What is more important to you, material wealth or the ability to control your thoughts? 5. Do you practice daily analysis of your actions to determine what helps or hinders your progress? 6. How much time do you dedicate to productive activities such as learning, sports, or meditation? 7. What are the 3 most significant weaknesses that affect you the most? What do you do to overcome them? Inspiration through examples. Consider the example of Thomas Edison. People around him claimed that creating a machine to record and reproduce sound was impossible, but Edison refused to believe this. He knew that the mind could create anything it truly believed in. Thanks to this mindset, he was able to rise above the ordinary and become one of the greatest inventors. Similarly, Henry Ford, facing ridicule about his automobile, did not stop but turned his dream into reality, forever changing the world. Your mind, your most valuable gift. Your mind is your fortress, which you must guard and develop. Your willpower is the key to controlling your life. If you learn to protect your mind from negativity, no external circumstances can break you. If you have honestly answered all these questions, you now know more about yourself than most people on this planet. By revisiting these questions weekly, you will uncover even more valuable insights that will change your life. And if there are questions to which you do not know the answers, ask people who know you without flattery, and see yourself through their eyes. This will be a powerful and transformational experience. Remember, you are capable of controlling absolutely everything in your life, including your thoughts. This is the greatest truth, and the most valuable gift of humanity. Controlling your mind is the key to your destiny, your freedom, and your vast potential. If you cannot control your mind, you cannot control anything. The mind is not just a tool. It is your sanctuary, your spiritual state. Protect it, use it wisely, and do not allow toxic thoughts to influence it. Your willpower is the shield and sword that guard your mind from negativity. Think of Thomas Edison. Everyone around him insisted that creating a device for recording and reproducing sound was impossible. But he believed that the mind could create anything it was capable of believing in. This belief made him one of the greatest inventors. Henry Ford, despite mockery and criticism, not only changed the world with his automobiles, but also accumulated enormous wealth, serving as an example of what can be achieved through self-belief and persistent effort. Mastering your mind. Mastering the mind is not magic. It is the result of self-discipline, habits, and a clear goal, supported by a well-thought-out action plan. Either you control your mind, or it controls you. There is no third option. Success always begins with control over your thought. In reality, the only difference between those who reach great heights and those who remain stagnant is their ability to control their thoughts and direct them toward their goals. When you look at the lives of highly successful people, you will see one common trait. They mastered their minds and used their abilities to turn their dreams into reality. Most people live under the influence of their excuses. But let's be honest, excuses will not create your future. The world does not care about the reasons for your failures. It only wants your results. You are the only person who can decide whether to be a winner. So don't hesitate. Learn to control your mind, develop an action plan, and start moving forward today. 55 Most Common Excuses. Most people who fail to achieve anything in life share one common trait. They always find excuses to justify their failures. These fabricated justifications seem real, reasonable, and even logical to them. But it is important to remember, none of these excuses will help you make money or achieve 086. The world cares about only one thing. Have you succeeded? I encourage you to review the list of the most common excuses used by people who give up. Analyze this list and determine whether you use any of them in your life. Top 55 Excuses. If only. 1. If only I didn't have a wife and children. 2. If only someone gave me a push. 3. If only I had money. 4. If only I had a good education. 5. If only I could find a job. 6. If only I had good health. 7. If only I had time. 8. If only times were different. 9. If only people understood me. 10. If only I lived in different conditions. 11. If only I could live my life over again. 12. If only I were not afraid of what people would say about me. 13. If only I were given a chance. 14. If only I had a chance right now. 15. If only others had nothing. 16. If only I had the right connections. 17. If only luck was on my side. 18. If only I were younger. 19. If only I had more talent. 20. If only I had started earlier. 21. If only I had more confidence. 22. If only I had more discipline. 23. If only I didn't care what others think. 24. If only I had fewer responsibilities. 25. If only I wasn't so tired all the time. 26. If only I had better motivation. 27. If only I wasn't afraid of failure. 28. If only I knew where to start. 29. If only I didn't doubt myself. 30. If only I had more courage. 31. If only I could start all over again. 32. If only I were free. 33. If only I had a character like some people. 34. If only I weren't so fat. 35. If only people knew about my abilities. 36. If only my chance had worked out. 37. If only I could pay off my debts. 38. If only I hadn't failed back then. 39. If only I knew how to. 40. If only everyone wasn't against me. 41. If only I didn't have so many problems. 42. If only I had married well. 43. If only people weren't so foolish. 44. If only my family weren't so wasteful. 45. If only I were confident in myself. 46. If only luck hadn't turned away from me. 47. If only I were born under a lucky star. 48. If only it weren't for the inevitability of fate. 49. If only work were easier. 50. If only I hadn't lost money. 51. If only I lived somewhere else. 52. If only it weren't for my past. 53. If only I had my own business. 54. If only people would listen to me. 55. If only I had the courage to see myself as I am. Why do people cling to excuses? 1. Excuses are a product of their imagination. People defend their excuses because they created them themselves. Like any child of their consciousness, they protect them with persistence. 2. Making excuses becomes a habit. This habit is so deeply rooted that it feels almost impossible to get rid of. 3. Fear of the truth. Most people fear facing the truth because it means admitting their mistakes and working on them. The power of letting go of excuses. The first step to success is overcoming yourself. Plato once said, "Victory over oneself is the first and best of victories. To be defeated by oneself is the greatest shame." Every imaginary barrier you face is an excuse holding you back from change. Instead of wasting time on excuses, start fighting your weaknesses. What you can do right now. 1. Identify your if-onlys. Write a list of the excuses you use most often. 2. Analyze them. Look at each if-only and find a way to turn it into action. 3. Replace excuses with plans. Every problem can be solved if broken down into small steps. Life is a game against time. Imagine your life as a chessboard. Your opponent is time. If you hesitate or overthink your actions, time will sweep your pieces off the board. Excuses no longer work because now you have the knowledge of how to act. Your key to success is the burning desire for change. The choice is yours. Stay trapped by excuses or take action to achieve your full potential. Here are a few examples of successful people who achieved their goals. 1. Steve Jobs. Excuses he could have used: O didn't finish college. O was adopted and came from a modest background. O faced failure when he was fired from his own company. Steve didn't let the lack of a degree become a barrier. After being ousted from Apple, he created Next and bought Pixar, eventually returning to Apple and turning it into one of the world's largest companies. 2. Oprah Winfrey. Excuses she could have used: O grew up in poverty and suffered discrimination. O was a victim of childhood abuse. O, her career as a TV journalist started with failures, as she was told she wasn't suited for TV. Oprah turned all the hardships of her life into motivation. She became one of the richest women in the world by creating her own TV show, which became a platform for positive change for millions. 3. Elon Musk. Excuses he could have used: O was born in South Africa and didn't have the same resources as in the US. O, his first companies, Zip2 and XCOM, were sold, and many doubted his subsequent ideas. SpaceX faced multiple failures, and Tesla was on the brink of bankruptcy. Elon wasn't afraid to take risks, believed in his ideas, and invested his money down to the last dollar. Now, he is one of the wealthiest people on the planet, shaping the future with his innovations. 4. J.K. Rowling, author of Harry Potter. Excuses she could have used. Lived in poverty, was a single mother. Her novel was rejected by 12 different publishers. Many thought writing wasn't a real job. Joanne didn't give up and continued to write. Her book series became a global phenomenon, and she became one of the wealthiest women in the world. 5. Nick Vujicic, motivational speaker. Excuses he could have used. Born without arms and legs. Faced bullying at school. Felt hopeless and considered suicide. Nick learned to accept himself and turned his physical limitations into motivation for others. He became a successful speaker, inspiring millions with his example. 6. Thomas Edison, inventor of the light bulb. Excuses he could have used. Was called too dumb to learn in school. His experiments failed thousands of times. Many people thought his dreams were unrealistic. Edison always responded, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." His persistence became legendary, and his inventions changed the world. 7. Arnold Schwarzenegger, actor and politician. Excuses he could have used. Was born in a small Austrian village. Didn't know English when he moved to the U.S. Many said he would never become an actor due to his accent and physique. Arnold didn't pay attention to the criticism. He became a successful bodybuilder, actor, and governor of California, proving that persistence overcomes all. Conclusion. Successful people share one common trait. They don't look for excuses. They find ways to overcome obstacles and use every failure as a lesson for growth. The secret to success lies in acting despite fears, excuses, or obstacles. If these people could do it, so can you.